And so, as mentioned, I'd like to change the text in the this title template that I've taken for my example. And to do this, I simply double-click in the title in the timeline. Having done this, the this title window opens. And for the minute, this isn't the large complex this title interface, but a slimmed down version for the quick editing of titles. This is a great function within this title, as I don't always want to have all the possibilities available to me if I'm simply changing my layout. And so I can use this layout editor that opens when I double-click on a title clip. And in doing so, we have the most important settings that we might need to change in a title. The first thing I notice is that we have a preview section to the right of this window. And then, on the left side, we have the individual text boxes with the text. And that's another very nice thing within this title. To change the text, I don't actually have to click in the actual layout, which brings with it the danger that I accidentally move something. What I can do here is simply select the text box and change the title in the left-hand section of the window. So I'd like to change the word heading to something else. I'll erase the text from within the text box, and I'll write Tour 2011, and I can see that the layout is automatically updated with the correct text. To see this in more detail, I'd like to zoom in somewhat, and this is rather easy from within this title too. To do this, I click at the area I want to zoom into with the right mouse button, and I hold it down, and now I can zoom in to the point I clicked on. The moment I perform a zoom operation, then another item appears, and that's the navigator. And when I do this, I can see a small square. And if I move the mouse over this square, then a hand symbol appears. And now, if I press and hold the left mouse button, I can decide which section of the window I'd like to look at. I'd also like to change the word subheading, and I'll zoom into it by using the mouse wheel in the navigator window. And here I'll write something else, from Munich to Berlin. By double-clicking in the navigator window, I can go back to the standard zoom setting, and so my title looks like this. For the minute, that's fine. I'd like to use this within Edius, and so I use the Save Exit function that can also be called up via the Ctrl+S key command. If I click on this, the title is updated, and I can see in my Edius preview window that the correct text is now shown. So for the minute, this is okay, but I might wish to change the font, and once again, I'll use the double-click function to go into my layout editor. I'll double-click on my title clip, and now I'll select the text block Tour 2011 up here. And here, I find a drop-down menu where I can choose my font. And if I click in it, then a drop-down menu appears, and I can see all the fonts available on my computer. And the fonts that I use the most often are in this section up here at the top. And from this section, I'd like to use the Futura font. I'll click on it, and my text is updated. So I can see it in more detail. I'll right mouse click on it, hold it down, and zoom in. Now I can see the text somewhat better. And so it would look like this. And I'd also like to use this font for my second text block. So Futura, and it's updated here. Of course, I could specify other font attributes, for example, italic or underlined, by selecting them here. But for this case, I'd like to leave them as they are. So once again, with Save Exit to Edius. So once again, everything's okay. I'm happy with the text, but I'd quite like to change the layout template. So I'd like to specify a different template from the this title template library. And how we can use this without having to type the text in again, I'll show you in the following lesson.